webinar by listen to the second keynote speaker from MMSU University, Dr. J.R. Cristobal. Okay, now I will introduce the curriculum vitae of Dr. J.R. Cristobal. She was born on 8 June 1989. His educational background, she has graduated his bachelor degree. He has finished his bachelor degree from Mariano Marcos State University, College of Teachers Education at 2010. And then his master degree from Mariano Marcos State University at 2017 from Art in Education major in Language and Literature, and his doctoral degree at Mariano Marcos State University too at 2021 concerned about philosophy in language. Okay, his working experience beside teaching as teacher in Department of Education, Bingo National High School. She has also a job as instructor at Mariano Marcos State University at College of Teachers Education from 2022. And then right now, she has a job as assistant professor. He has a job as Assistant Professor 1 and Assistant Professor 2 at Mariano Marcos State University at College of Teachers Education. Her current designation, he has a job, he has designation, current designation as Extension Coordinator and Program Advisor. And then some of his research publication, most of them are in the American Journal of Art and Human Science, and then European Journal of Education Studies, and Asia Pacific Journal of Multidisciplinary Research, and the last one in American Journal of Education and Technology. And his presentation experience in some conference, he has ever been speaker or keynote speaker too as at the Thailand Philippine Bilateral Graduate Student Research Forum at 2024, and internationalization lecture series with faculty and student exchange at 2024, Linguistic Society of the Philippines International Conference in Manila at 2019, and World Interdisciplinary Research Congress at 2018, international webinar series collaboration between MMSU University PGRI Madiun on February 2023, and also Philippine Association for Language Teaching at 2022. For Dr. J. Cristobal, now it is the time for you to present your presentation. Okay, welcome to our second keynote speaker, Dr. J.R. Cristobal. Time and screen are yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Irmayanti. So good morning. I hope everyone is doing fine right now. And it's so great to see all of you in this webinar. So let me now start my presentation because we are only given 25 minutes to deliver our lecture. Okay, can you see my screen?
Not yet, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am Ginahan pa. Okay, just wait for a minute. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so my presentation focuses on the languages used by teachers in English language classrooms. All right, so first I would like to highlight the role of English or language in the classroom. So we all know how important language is in the classroom. So language is very essential in the teaching and learning process because it's the main element to cater the needs of learners academically and professionally. Also, the use of language highly influences the learning process as it provides a positive learning attitude toward easier and clearer understanding of a lesson. In fact, in some English language classrooms, teachers strategically use multiple languages to enhance learning. Well, it cannot be denied that English has been occupying a major role in many domains, such as in education. Now, let's take a closer look on the context of English in our country, the Philippines. So, is English a native language, a second language, or a foreign language in our context? So, in the Philippines, English is our second language. It is one of our official languages and it is used for medium of communication and instruction. Filipino is our national language. This is also used for communication and instruction in some courses. And aside from Filipino as our national language, we have our regional languages, and one of which is our mother tongue in our province, which is the Ilocano. So these regional languages are used to support instruction in English and Filipino. Considerably, teachers' language use and practice are influenced and guided by language policies. So in our country, we have our own language policies. For example, we have the Executive Order number 210, just like in section 2. And here are the key aspects of the CHED's language policy. First, for language courses, this must be taught in the language being studied, whether Filipino or English. What about for literature courses? So here, the policy states that institutions have discretion to use Filipino, English, or another language, provided there are sufficient instructional materials and the instructors and students are competent in the chosen language. For humanities and social sciences courses, this should preferably be taught in Filipino to promote the language's intellectualization and cultural significance. We have also our policy for bilingualism. So this policy aims to cultivate bilingual competence in both Filipino and English among students with both languages taught as subjects. So in the Philippines, English remains as a primary medium of instruction. So the Commission on Higher Education encourages higher education institutions to adopt English as the primary medium of instruction to enhance students' competitiveness in a technology-driven world. English as an international language. This policy also acknowledges English role as an international language and a non-exclusive language for science and technology. And we have also our policy for our regional languages. So these languages and dialects will still be used, but as supplementary learning materials or auxiliary languages to support instruction in Filipino and English rather than being the primary medium of instruction. So like any other policies, our language policy changes from time to time and from generation to generation. And while it is true that it is continuously changing, it consistently supports multilingualism. So I would like to highlight that our policy consistently supports or promotes multilingualism. But okay, so the intentional and strategic integration of multiple languages by teachers in English language classrooms not only facilitates deeper comprehension and engagement, but also fosters a more inclusive and equitable learning environment, ultimately enhancing overall academic achievement. According to Tejano and other researchers, language use in Philippine higher education institutions is shaped by internationalization, rankings, and licensure requirements, so English remains indispensable. At the same time, Filipino and regional and indigenous languages support access, identity, and community engagement. Languages should work together clearly, inclusively, and fairly. This only means that we give equal importance to all the languages that we use. English, Filipino as our national language, and our mother tongue. But what went wrong in the classroom? First is the language use. Language use is based on teachers' preference and expertise. We have also an issue on language practice. How teachers have different practices in using the languages in the classroom and the language policy. Many institutions do not have written language policy. Others have, but not easily accessible to faculty or does not clearly state the medium of instruction across levels and courses, or many are not well informed about the policy and its implications. So these issues, these concerns prompted me to have a discussion with other English faculty in our college. So that's why we were able to have this study languages used by teachers in the English language classroom, the case of mmsu CTE. So we focus on these questions. First, what languages do teachers use during instructional talk and management talk? Second, what are the perceptions of teachers of their use of their identified languages? Third, what challenges do teachers face in using these challenges? And what insights on English language teaching can be deduced from the results of the study? Okay, so how did we do this study? So we used the descriptive research design, and of course, it was conducted in our college, mmsu CTE, involving 6 teachers teaching English courses. For the instruments, we used a checklist and interview questions. Then we have a group discussion to gather the data needed. And to interpret the data, we use frequency count, percentage, and thematic analysis. So here are the results of this study. First, for the language just used by teachers. So as flashed on the screen, most of us use English solely in the classroom in explaining the lesson, giving directions, giving corrections, and answering questions. While mixed language is dominantly used in which English is dominant in answering questions. For management top, English is solely used for greeting, giving instructions, and giving announcements, while mixed language, English and Ilocano, in which English is dominant, is used for checking presence, giving advice, encouraging students, reprimanding, and giving praise. Now, what are the perceptions of these teachers on their use of these identified languages? So we were able to deduce several themes such as convenience and versatility. So in our college, we find English to be convenient and versatile since it's our specialization. Another one is that combining English with local language, for instance, our mother tongue, facilitates communication and connection with students. Another theme generated is connection with students. So using the local language helps build a conversational relationship with students, and it allows for contextualizing questions and answers, especially when topics are complex. Another theme is skill development and academic growth. So English is seen as essential for developing students' communication skills and academic growth. The use of both languages, English and our local language, enriches teaching and makes learning more meaningful. We have also a theme that focuses on the support for English language learning. So using the local language facilitates understanding of concepts in English, especially when they are difficult to grasp. It acts as a bridge supporting students' learning of the English language. So these claims are strengthened. Okay, so we have also another one, English proficiency and practice. We often prefer using English to improve our own language proficiency because consistent practice in real life situations reinforces our skills in the language. So here are the themes generated: convenience and versatility, connection with students, skill development and academic growth, support for English language learning, and English proficiency and practice. So these themes are further strengthened by the responses of the teachers. So someone said, I find the use of mainly English or sometimes English and Ilocano, English being dominant, to be a more convenient and versatile way of communicating with the students, probably because the use of the English language is my specialization. Another mentioned that in the classroom, he uses Ilocano and English as his main languages. Ilocano, the mother tongue, helps him connect with his students and explain lessons more clearly, especially during the times in which the topics are too complex to comprehend. And another said, for the most part, it is mostly English dominant. So I use Filipino as an auxiliary language to get my point across when English does not work. I have a preference for English because I am an English language teacher. I use it to get better. English and Filipino are helpful because I find them easy to use. So we conform to our language policy in which English is used as the main medium of instruction, and that we use Filipino and our mother tongue to support the learning of this language. What about the challenges and the use of these identified languages? So here are the themes generated based on the responses of the teachers. First challenge emphasizes the adjustment to student language. So one of the main challenges is adjusting to the language that students use, especially when they unexpectedly switch to the local language. Another is the adjustment in discussing complex topics. Adjusting explanations of complex topics to the local language can be difficult, especially when dealing with grammar rules. Finding ways to translate abstract concepts requires creativity and a good command of both languages. We have also an issue on language mixing. Sometimes mental blocks lead to mixing English and the local language when answering tricky questions, which can confuse students. Code switching and code mixing sometimes compromise our thoughts and the message we want to relay to our students. Then we have also a challenge on balancing between languages. So we experience a problem on finding the right balance between English and the local language. We are affected by some students who rely too much on the local language, limiting their English practice, while others may struggle to understand lessons explained only in English. So these challenges are further supported by the responses of the teachers. So one mentioned that one of the main challenges with both languages is the adjustment. While I prefer the use of English for myself and for the interactions in my classes, I am the one adjusting to their language use. Another said that there are times when he would code mix English and Ilocano in answering questions that sometimes make students confused. Another teacher said that she does not know if she is understood most of the time, and she does comprehension checks in class, but it takes time. And she ends up re-explaining what she just said. And another said that one challenge she faces in using Ilocano and English is finding the right balance between the two languages. Some students rely too much on Ilocano or our mother tongue, which limits their English practice. Others struggle to understand lessons when explained only in English. Then another, when I entered the code mix, the structure and thought of my statements are compromised. So based on the results of this discussion, what are the insights on English language teaching? So here are the insights based on the results of the study. So first, code switching as a scaffolding tool. We strategically use the local language, for example, our mother tongue, to support students' understanding of complex English concepts. This code switching acts as a bridge, making abstract ideas more accessible. Next is building rapport and connection. Using our mother tongue fosters a stronger connection and conversational relationship, creating a more comfortable and engaging learning environment. Another one is English as a primary goal. While we use our mother tongue and our national language, still English is our primary goal in our classrooms, in English language classrooms. Even when code switching is employed, the dominant language in the classroom remains English, especially in English courses. Another insight deduced from the results is versatility and convenience. We find English versatile for communication, especially when it aligns with our specialization. This highlights the importance of teacher proficiency in English. Another is the challenges in balancing languages. Finding the right balance between English and the local language is a recurring challenge. Over reliance on the local language can hinder English practice, while exclusive use of English can lead to comprehension difficulties. So while we use multiple languages in the classroom, we have to make sure that there should be balance in using these languages. So based on the results and the insights, we offer these recommendations. First is strategic code switching, all right? So as mentioned a while ago, we have to use code switching strategically. Another one is conversational environment. So here, teachers are recommended to encourage a conversational atmosphere where students feel comfortable using both English and their mother tongue. This can help build rapport and make learning more engaging. So we have to expose our students in conversational situations so that they can practice using the English language and, of course, their mother tongue. Next, teachers are also encouraged to reflect on their language use in the classroom and adjust their strategies based on student needs and feedback. This includes being mindful of the balance between English and the logical language and the impact on student learning. We also recommend the conduct of researches on language use and practice involving larger population in a university level or in a regional level. In our case, we only involve 6 teachers. So we recommend researchers to conduct studies on language use and practice in a university level, regional level, or even in a national level. And lastly, we recommend the development of language policy. A written language policy may be developed to unify teachers' use of languages and in the classroom. Some universities here do not have written language policy, as mentioned before. So it is recommended that we develop a language policy. And it's better if it will be developed based on based on the results of researches. All right. So to end my presentation, I would like to emphasize this thought to ponder on that language is a bridge, not a barrier. So mother tongue is not a barrier to English, but the bridge that carries learners across. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat.